Ethereum is one of the most revolutionary blockchain projects in history. But to understand Ethereum, we first need to understand its creator, Vitalik Buterin. Vitalik Buterin was born in Kolomna, Russia in 1994. His family later moved to Canada in search of better opportunities. From a young age, Vitalik showed an extraordinary talent for mathematics and programming. He was introduced to Bitcoin in 2011 by his father, who was a computer scientist. Fascinated by the concept of decentralized money, he began writing about blockchain technology. His deep involvement in the crypto space led him to co-found Bitcoin magazine, where he shared his thoughts on improving blockchain systems. But Vitalik didn't just want to talk about blockchain, he wanted to build something greater. While Bitcoin was a breakthrough, he believed its scripting capabilities were too limited. In 2013, he published the Ethereum white paper, outlining his vision for a decentralized platform that could support smart contracts and decentralized applications. Ethereum was not just another cryptocurrency, it was an entirely new ecosystem. A system where developers could build applications without needing permission from any authority. After publishing the Ethereum white paper in 2013, Vitalik Buterin faced a major challenge, turning his idea into reality. While many in the crypto space were intrigued by his vision, creating a new blockchain required funding, developers, and infrastructure. To bring Ethereum to life, Vitalik assembled a team of talented developers, including Gavin Wood, Joseph Lubin, Anthony Di Iorio, and Charles Hoskinson. Each of these individuals played a crucial role in shaping Ethereum's early development. But how would they fund such an ambitious project? In 2014, they launched an initial coin offering ICO, one of the first major ICOs in crypto history. People could buy Ether, the native currency of Ethereum, in exchange for Bitcoin. The ICO was a huge success, raising over $18 million in just a few weeks. With funding secured, the Ethereum team got to work. They wrote the Ethereum codebase and prepared for launch. Finally, on July 30, 2015, Ethereum's first version, called Frontier, was released. It marked the beginning of a new era in blockchain technology. With Ethereum officially launched in 2015, developers and innovators rushed to build decentralized applications, DApps, on the platform. One of the most exciting projects at the time was the DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, a venture capital fund running entirely on smart contracts. The DAO raised over $150 million in Ether from investors, making it one of the largest crowdfunding projects in history. However, in June 2016, disaster struck. A hacker exploited a vulnerability in the DAO's smart contract code, draining around $50 million worth of Ether. The Ethereum community was in shock. This was the first major crisis for the young blockchain. A debate erupted: should Ethereum intervene and reverse the hack? This led to a controversial decision. Vitalik Buterin and a majority of the Ethereum community agreed to perform a hard fork, essentially rewriting Ethereum's blockchain to undo the hack. However, not everyone agreed with this move. Some believed that blockchains should be immutable, meaning transactions, even hacked ones, should never be altered. As a result, the Ethereum community split into two. The new Ethereum chain, ETH, which reversed the hack and continued developing as the main Ethereum blockchain. The original Ethereum chain, now called Ethereum Classic (ETC), which kept the hack in place and maintained the philosophy of immutability. The DAO hack was a defining moment for Ethereum, testing its leadership, governance, and the philosophy of decentralization itself. Ethereum's hard fork and the aftermath of the DAO hack were just the beginning of a journey filled with constant innovation and upgrades. Despite the split into Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, the Ethereum community remained committed to improving the platform. The next major goal was to overcome Ethereum's scalability issues and high transaction fees. Ethereum initially used the proof-of-work (POW) consensus mechanism, which was similar to Bitcoin. This system required miners to solve complex cryptographic puzzles to validate transactions, which was energy-intensive and led to high transaction costs during periods of heavy use. Vitalik Buterin and the Ethereum Foundation realized that for Ethereum to scale and become the global decentralized computing platform it was meant to be, a new consensus mechanism was needed. In 2018, Ethereum introduced the concept of Ethereum 2, often referred to as ETH2, a major upgrade that would replace proof-of-work with proof-of-stake (PoS). With POS, Ethereum would be secured by validators who would lock up or stake their Ether as collateral to propose and validate blocks, instead of using energy-consuming mining operations. The transition to Ethereum 2 would also introduce other critical upgrades, such as the beacon chain, which is the backbone of the new POS system, and the eventual shard chains, designed to make Ethereum much more scalable by splitting the network into smaller, more manageable pieces. After years of development and testing, Ethereum successfully made the transition to proof of stake in September 2022 with the merge, a historic moment for the Ethereum network. The merge represented a 95% reduction in Ethereum's energy consumption, marking a significant milestone in Ethereum's environmental sustainability efforts. Now that Ethereum has made the transition to proof of stake and is rapidly evolving, what's next for the platform? Despite its success, Ethereum still faces several significant challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is scalability. While the introduction of Ethereum 2 and shard chains promises to significantly improve network throughput, Ethereum must continue to improve its infrastructure to handle even more users, applications, and transactions without compromising decentralization or security. Another challenge is high gas fees. Even though they have decreased somewhat with the shift to POS, they can still rise during periods of heavy network usage. Ethereum is exploring solutions like Layer 2 scaling solutions, e.g., optimistic rollups, ZK rollups that build on top of the main Ethereum chain to offer faster and cheaper transactions without sacrificing security. But beyond challenges, Ethereum's future is incredibly promising. The Ethereum community has a clear vision of creating a decentralized world computer, where anyone can build and interact with decentralized applications in a trustless, censorship-resistant environment. Ethereum is becoming a platform for innovation. It is at the heart of decentralized finance, DeFi, non-fungible tokens (NFTs), and the growing Web3 ecosystem. Ethereum is also working on upgrades like EIP 1559, which introduced a deflationary mechanism to reduce the overall supply of Ether over time by burning a portion of the transaction fees. This has the potential to make Ether even more valuable as demand increases and supply decreases. As the ecosystem grows, Ethereum's goal is not only to remain a dominant blockchain but also to continue driving the broader blockchain revolution. With major companies, institutions, and governments exploring Ethereum-based solutions, its influence on the digital economy will only increase. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of Ethereum and want to stay updated on the latest in the world of cryptocurrency, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We've got plenty more exciting content about other crypto projects coming your way. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or if there's a specific project you want us to cover next. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.